chosen one. There is a quiet dignity in walking alone through a world that is obsessed with crowd approval. For years, you may have viewed your isolation as a wound, wondering why certain doors kept closing, why superficial social circles felt draining, and why you could never quite fit into the pre-packaged boxes society laid out for you. You tried to force yourself into places that were too small for your spirit. You tried to dim your light just to keep the peace, only to realize that no matter how much you compromised, you still stood out. What felt like painful abandonment was actually divine selection. The universe did not isolate you to punish you, it isolated you to preserve you. You were pulled away from the noise so that your frequency would not be diluted by the illusions of the collective. Deep within your spirit, you carried a depth that could not coexist with surface-level living, and that quiet depth made you a lone wolf. Yet, there is a profound paradox to your path, chosen one. The very people who excluded you, the ones who labeled you as distant, mysterious, or intimidating, are often the exact same people who secretly wish they had an ounce of your peace. They sense the unshakable stillness within you. In a world full of performative noise, fake smiles, and endless desperation for validation, you represent something extremely rare. Unadulterated truth. You are the lone wolf that everyone secretly seeks, even if their pride will never allow them to admit it out loud. The path of the lone wolf is rarely chosen by the ego. It is appointed by the soul before you even take your first breath in this physical world. When you look back at the trajectory of your life, you will notice a consistent, undeniable pattern that kept repeating itself whenever you tried to conform. Every time you sought to blend into the crowd, something within the invisible spiritual realm stepped in to disrupt it. A sudden falling out with a group, an inexplicable instinct to retreat into your shell, or a heavy, draining emotional fatigue would wash over you, forcing you away from the table and back into your own isolated space. You used to believe this was a curse or a defect in your personality, but in truth, it was the universe actively guarding your spiritual vessel from being corrupted by lower frequencies. Lone wolves are not created because they carry hatred for humanity. They are formed because they possess an uncompromising love for absolute truth. Your spirit intuitively understands that constant exposure to superficial, low-frequency environments slowly degrades your higher perception and dims your internal compass. Solitude became your private sanctuary and your sacred laboratory, the quiet space where your intuition was sharpened like a fine blade, where your spiritual discernment was polished, and where your inner power was steadily consolidated away from the prying eyes of the world. While others panic at the thought of being alone with their thoughts, you learned to inhabit your own inner world with grace and self-assurance. In a modern society that relies heavily on constant noise, endless notifications, and external stimulation to escape internal void, you have mastered the quiet art of sitting in a silent room with yourself. You did not run away from your shadows, you met them head-on, processed your deepest wounds without demanding an audience, and painstakingly rebuilt your spirit without waiting for society's round of applause. This rare mastery over your own mind and emotional state is precisely what sets you apart from the collective. The crowd fears silence because silence strips away their masks and forces them to confront their unhealed pain. But for you, chosen one, silence is where you feel most grounded and safe. Every time you felt left out, overlooked, or abandoned by those you thought were your peers, a higher divine intelligence was systematically dismantling your dependence on human validation. If God had allowed you to fit in smoothly with those early social circles, you would have adopted their worldly habits, swallowed their limiting beliefs, and traded your divine destiny for cheap temporary comfort. Your isolation was not an act of divine rejection, it was an act of sacred preservation. You were intentionally hidden in the shadows so that your spirit could mature without being shaped by the illusions and corruptions of the world around you. Within this sanctuary of solitude, you cultivated an unshakable connection to the divine source that cannot be taught in books or bought with material wealth. You learned to distinguish the voice of your ego from the whisper of your higher self. building an internal fortress of discernment that no manipulative spirit can breach. This deep inner grounding gives you a subtle weight, a quiet spiritual density that people instantly feel when you step back into the world. You do not carry the scattered, frantic energy of someone who is constantly seeking approval. You carry the rooted, centered presence of a soul that knows exactly who it is when all the world's noise is stripped away. As you continue walking this solitary road, understand that your sanctuary of solitude is not a permanent prison sentence, but a temporary throne room of preparation. The universe isolated you to forge your spirit into something unbreakable, knowing that the mission assigned to your life requires a level of stamina that cannot be developed in the middle of a crowd. Embrace these quiet hours not as moments of lack, but as moments of divine download. You are being calibrated for a purpose far greater than personal comfort, and every moment spent alone in true alignment is quietly preparing you to hold immense light without flickering. There is an invisible, undeniable aura of authority that surrounds any soul that has mastered the art of standing alone. When you walk into a room, chosen one, you do not need to raise your voice, wear flashy clothing, or perform dramatic displays to draw the atmosphere toward you. You carry an unspoken presence that alters the energetic room temperature the second you cross the threshold. People instinctively feel the unshakable stillness you hold inside, and to a world drowning in mental chaos and perpetual anxiety, that centered stillness acts like a powerful magnet. Human beings are naturally drawn to authentic light, because true authenticity has become extraordinarily rare in a world built on illusion. So many individuals spend their entire lives putting on elaborate performances, playing scripted social roles, and pleading for acceptance from people they do not even respect. When they collide with someone like you, someone who is entirely comfortable in their own skin, who does not crave their applause, and who walks with quiet self-sufficiency, it shocks their system. Your very existence challenges the unspoken rule that everyone must compromise themselves just to be accepted. Your calm refusal to participate in superficial gossip, emotional games, or desperate attention-seeking acts as a spiritual mirror to everyone around you. In your quiet presence, people are forced to subconsciously witness their own hidden insecurities, masks, and performative habits, exposed without you saying a single word of judgment. This is precisely why certain people react to you with sudden, irrational hostility or coldness, while others feel an immediate, almost desperate desire to lean into your energy. They are not reacting to your physical body or your words. They are reacting to the sheer purity of your frequency, which naturally exposes everything hidden in the dark. This silent magnetism is why strangers often feel an overwhelming urge to tell you their deepest secrets within minutes of meeting you. Without realizing it, their souls recognize that your aura is free from the toxic need to judge, gossip, or exploit their vulnerabilities for personal gain. You possess a rare, clean energy field that feels like a safe harbor to weary hearts. They sense that you have walked through your own fires and emerged clean, making you a natural container for truth in a world that is suffocating under the weight of falsehood and pretense. Do not be confused when people stare at you intensely from across a room or struggle to look you directly in the eye when speaking to you. The light you carry is not subtle to the spirit world. It glows brightly through your physical eyes and radiates through your posture. Those who are living in alignment with their own truth will feel deeply comforted and inspired by your presence, while those who are harboring deceit or unaddressed shadows will feel incredibly uncomfortable, as if your aura is shining a spotlight directly onto their hidden faults. Embrace this magnetic frequency without feeling the need to shrink or apologize for the impact you have on others. You were not given this quiet power to hide it under a bushel, just to make insecure people feel comfortable around you. Your aura is doing spiritual work simply by existing in spaces that need higher light and order. Stand tall in your sovereign energy, keep your boundaries firm, and realize that your silent magnetism is proof that you are anchored in something infinitely realer and stronger than the fleeting opinions of the crowd. pay close attention to what happens when the people who once ignored or minimized you hit a devastating wall in their personal lives. When their superficial social networks inevitably collapse, when their illusions fall apart under real pressure, or when life forces them to face a genuine crisis, they never reach out to their fair-weather friends or party companions. In their darkest, most honest moments, their minds instinctively travel straight to you. They remember the lone wolf who refused to participate in their petty dramas, the one who saw right through their posturing, and the one who carried a steady, unshakable wisdom when everything around them was spinning out of control. They search for you in their dark hours because their souls know that only a vessel filled with authentic light can offer true direction through a storm. They know you will not feed them cheap platitudes, fake sympathy, or empty words. You will offer them grounding truth, genuine spiritual shelter, and a perspective forged in real-life experience. Even those who spoke ill of you behind your back or attempted to sabotage your reputation will secretly watch your life from a quiet distance when no one is looking. They scroll through your life with a mixture of awe and frustration, wondering how you manage to move with such grace, peace, and quiet victory despite every trial thrown your way. They try to decipher where your internal strength originates, why your energy never stays depleted for long, and how you remain whole after walking through fires that would have completely broken them. What these observers fail to grasp is that the immense strength they admire was forged in the exact solitude they tried to condemn you to. Every single time you were left out, excluded, or betrayed, God was using that pain to build an impenetrable spiritual fortress inside your heart. You did not break because your roots were planted deep in divine truth rather than shallow human approval. The wisdom you possess today was purchased with tears shed in quiet rooms where only the divine watched you heal and rebuild. When these lost souls eventually seek you out for guidance, you will witness the profound responsibility that comes with the path of the chosen one. You become a living beacon for those navigating their own dark nights of the soul, proving to them that it is possible to endure intense spiritual warfare and come out untainted on the other side. Your journey serves as living evidence that light will always outshine darkness, and that a single soul anchored in truth can bring stability to an entire chaotic ecosystem. However, as you offer shelter to those wandering in the dark, remember to guard your sacred reservoir with absolute vigilance. Being a lighthouse does not mean letting every vessel crash into your rocks, nor does it mean allowing low-frequency individuals to drain your oil to fuel their own temporary relief. Offer them truth, point them toward the divine source, but maintain your boundaries with unwavering strength. You are the lone wolf they secretly seek because you belong to the light, and your energy must remain protected so you can continue fulfilling your divine assignment. Embracing your identity as a lone wolf requires a complete and final surrender of all guilt regarding your personal boundaries. For far too long, chosen one, you carried an unearned weight of responsibility for the emotional comfort of everyone around you. You repeatedly sacrificed your own mental clarity, your physical energy, and your spiritual peace just to keep fragile, toxic dynamics alive, believing that accommodating others was the ultimate expression of love. But true wisdom has taught you that overextending yourself to people who refuse to grow only enables their spiritual stagnation while slowly draining your own life force. You have finally come to realize that keeping the peace with others should never come at the cost of waging a war within yourself. Setting firm, unshakable boundaries is not an act of coldness, arrogance, or hostility. It is the highest form of spiritual stewardship. Your energy is not an open public park for anyone to wander through, dump their emotional trash, and leave whenever they please. It is a sacred temple that requires protection. You cannot function as a clear lighthouse for struggling souls if you allow chaotic, unhealed individuals to constantly pour water on your divine flame. Establishing boundaries simply means you are declaring that your peace is non-negotiable and that access to your spirit is a rare privilege, not a birthright that anyone can claim through guilt manipulation, or entitlement. The high standards you hold for your life, your friendships, and your sacred space are naturally intimidating to those who thrive on low-frequency convenience. You require absolute honesty, emotional depth, and mutual respect because your spirit can no longer digest shallow conversations, hidden agendas, or passive-aggressive behavior. When you step away from environments that demand you diminish your intelligence or mute your light just to make others feel comfortable, you are not acting out of superiority. You are simply honoring the divine blueprint inside you that refuses to swallow spiritual poison wrapped in social politeness. When you fully accept that your period of solitude was a divine appointment rather than a social failure, you stop viewing your isolation through the lens of lack. You begin to recognize it as an absolute state of spiritual sovereignty. In this sacred space of self-reliance, you no longer wait for someone else to validate your worth, grant you permission to shine, or offer you a seat at their table. You build your own foundation directly with the divine source. You walk with your chin held high, fully aware that being misunderstood by the vast majority of the world is not a tragedy, but the inevitable price you pay for staying completely true to your soul. Be prepared for the pushback that inevitably comes when you stop allowing people to use your kindness as a footstool. Those who benefited from your lack of boundaries will inevitably label you as distant, selfish, arrogant, or cold when you finally reclaim your time and energy. They preferred the version of you that was easily manipulated, always available, and willing to carry their emotional baggage at your own expense. Let them keep their bitter narratives. Their disapproval is simply proof that your boundaries are working effectively and that you are no longer operating on the low frequency of people-pleasing. By upholding this sovereign standard, you create a powerful energetic filter that keeps chaotic souls at a safe distance while magnetizing only those who meet your level of integrity. You no longer waste precious years trying to convince toxic individuals to value you or begging insincere friends to stay. Instead, you sit comfortably on the throne of your own spirit, trusting that the universe will bring aligned, high-frequency souls into your path in due time. Until then, you remain fully content walking alone, knowing that a clean, quiet solitude is infinitely more valuable than a crowded room full of performative connections. The grueling season of feeling constantly isolated, overlooked, and tested in the dark is finally reaching its spiritual completion. Chosen one. The universe operates in divine mathematical cycles, and the heavy period of quiet refinement, deep shadow work, and hiddenness was never meant to be your permanent state of existence. It was a rigorous, highly intentional boot camp designed to build a foundation strong enough to carry the immense weight of the destiny that is about to unfold in your life. You were intentionally kept hidden in the wilderness until your spirit was thoroughly cleansed of ego, vanity, and the need for human applause. As this profound energetic shift takes place, you will notice a dramatic change in how the world responds to you. You will no longer have to chase, force, or beg for anything that belongs to your higher path. The quiet spiritual authority you forged in absolute secrecy is beginning to manifest visibly in your physical reality. The doors that are preparing to open for you now will not require you to compromise your moral character, bow to corrupt gatekeepers, or shrink your light to gain entry. Opportunities, resources, and aligned soul connections will begin to seek you out effortlessly because your personal frequency has reached a crystal clear resonance that can no longer be ignored or suppressed. This turning of the tide brings a profound sense of divine vindication, though your matured spirit will no longer seek petty revenge. Those who conspired against you, mocked your quiet nature, or took deliberate steps to sabotage your progress will be forced to watch from a distance as the universe publicly elevates you. They expected you to break under the weight of the trials they helped create, but instead, they will witness you standing stronger, wiser, and more prosperous than ever before. Divine justice is moving on your behalf, turning every piece of pain, betrayal, and isolation you endured into raw fuel for your ultimate spiritual elevation. You are stepping into a golden era where the wisdom you painstakingly gathered while walking alone in the dark will become the exact light that guides thousands of lost souls out of their own storms. The very experiences that almost destroyed you, the deep heartbreaks, the agonizing lonely nights, and the spiritual warfare, have been transformed by divine grace into your greatest spiritual assets. You are no longer just surviving your trials. You have become a living, breathing testament to what happens when a soul places its absolute trust in the divine process and refuses to sell its integrity to the world. Do not allow the ghost of past trauma to make you hesitant or fearful as these new, expansive horizons open up before you. You have been tested in the deepest fires of isolation, and you passed with flying colors. There is no success, abundance, or influence that can corrupt your heart now because you know who held your hand when you had nothing. The humility and discernment you cultivated during your wilderness years will act as an unbreakable anchor, ensuring that as your outer world expands dramatically, your inner world remains completely grounded in truth, peace, and spiritual purity. Stand tall and step forward into this new season with unwavering confidence and immense gratitude in your heart. The phase of being the hidden, misunderstood lone wolf in the dark is transitioning into a season where your quiet power, unshakable peace, and authentic light will be fully recognized and honored by the world. You have paid the full price for your spiritual freedom through endurance, faith, and patience. The tide has officially turned in your favor, chosen one, and the blessings, authority, and divine purpose that are about to flood into your life are simply the harvest of everything you faithfully sowed in secret. Never diminish the power of your quiet walk or doubt the sacred journey you are on, chosen one. You were never created to follow the noisy trails of the crowd, but to carve a path of pure truth, resilience, and quiet spiritual authority. Hold your head high, trust the divine light within your heart, and continue walking with the unwavering grace and sovereignty of the soul you were born to be. Thank you for walking this journey of awareness with us today on Wisdom Path. If this message deeply resonated with your spirit, anchor this frequency into your reality right now by typing in the comments below. I claim my divine path as a lone wolf of light. Let your words serve as a conscious declaration to the universe and a quiet beacon for other chosen souls walking this exact same path across the world. Take a deep breath, protect your sacred peace, and remember that the light within you is far greater than any darkness you will ever encounter. You are never truly alone when you are aligned with the divine. Walk in quiet power, stay rooted in your truth, and remain forever blessed on your journey.